welcome back for another episode of Market Markup. This is Lance, co-founder of BH Capital Enterprises, where I teach people how to navigate the markets using price action, specifically learning how to read price action on charts. And no matter what asset class you trade in, a chart is a chart. Any chartist can tell you that. But anyway, what I've been doing for the month of July is challenging myself to put out one video every day to work on discipline and consistency, but also to work on my craft. I truly enjoy, looking at charts and analyzing price action and building hypotheses on what I think will happen in the future. But this one is another special request. And so if you would like for me to check out any tickers, moving forward, leave them in the comment section. I'll be happy to add them to the bottom of my list. But let's jump into SPY. Of course, SPY is a company or a ticker that I follow on a near daily basis. So you're definitely, of course, that's why you see trend lines here already. I'm not gonna, delete my trend line, so we'll make it do what it do. But obviously, SPY is in phase two of the market cycle currently. You see, it had some consolidation here for several years before finally kicking that bullish move off back in '09, and it's just been running since then. But the actual breakout didn't happen until about 2013. But anyway, we've already got 2020's close marked around 373.88, so we're going to leave that there. Actually, this is a price level, so I can change this. Say 2020 close. 373. All right, so we'll do that. Okay. Actually, let me put that on the right. All right. So, not move the entire thing on the right. Show price on the right. There we go. All right, so showing everything on the right. All right, so as you can see, this year it dipped below 2020 close periodically, or not periodically, but for a short period of time, and since then it's just been pushing. No reason to think that this thing is going to consolidate or start consolidating here on the yearly chart yet. It's too early to really make that determination, but so far it hit close to 438 and retreated from there. So nothing much to see here on the yearly chart. So we're just going to go ahead and move on to the monthly chart and see what's shaping up over there. Monthly chart, pretty much in a decent sized rising wedge here, in my opinion. So about here and here. Nice little rising wedge happening there on the monthly chart. A rising wedge pattern is typically a bearish pattern, but not always. However, when you see and I've said this in previous videos, QQQ video, triple Qs specifically, recently had a rising wedge breakout, so a bullish move out of that rising wedge, and it took off like 20 plus points. So yeah, matter of fact, let's do quick little let's do something here. There we go. And we're going to activate that. Oh, so I mean, if we got a breakdown out of this thing, we could see a potential drastic dip in this one. Not saying that that's what's going to happen, but just, some potential. And of course, to the upside, if it breaks out, it could run a good bit. And that was nearly 100 points. So definitely be watching here on this monthly chart. I believe we'll see some sort of resolution here within maybe July, August. September is pushing it, in my opinion, but we should see some resolution here over the next 60 days or so, whether it be a breakout or a breakdown. Like I said, a breakout, this thing could go 500, you know. A breakdown, this thing could go back toward 400 and maybe mid 300s. But, I think it'd have to be something pretty drastic to cause this price to break down so significantly. But yeah, so um, maybe at least down to that 2020 close if we saw, but that would mean that it's entered into correction territory. So keep that in mind. But I would watch that correction level first if it, breaks these levels. So we got the 2.5%, then the 5% pullback, and then the 10% correction. So those are key areas to watch, especially on the monthly chart. But right now we should see some maybe continuing indecision when it comes to VIX, which has been consolidating for a while now. But in order for this thing to break out, there's going to have to be some sort of move on VIX. So be watching VIX in the process, not just watching this individual ticker. Watch VIX as well. But let's move on to the weekly chart and see what's shaking down there. Okay, so you can see that rising wedge a little better here, and then on the weekly chart, we can see that the price is trying to breach the upper trend line of this area. So keep an eye on that and see if this level holds or if it comes back down and maybe goes back down to this 426 area short term. But like I said, let me I'm gonna extend this one out. I would say, let me extend this one too. Yeah, by, no later than early September should we see some resolution here, whether it be a breakout or a breakdown of this pattern. Um, is there anything else that I'm seeing here that's really, really key? Be watching this week to see how it ends the week, especially to see if this trend line holds, and then be watching over the next couple of weeks to see if it continues to hold or if it folds and breaks back down. But down here we're seeing some obvious selling pressure starting to creep in. We've had a little bit of selling pressure here so far this week, but not a whole lot. But also consider the fact that VIX is low. Um, let's check out the daily chart. Actually, let me take a screenshot of this one and we'll check out the daily chart right quick. Alright, so daily chart, and I'm just going to delete this one here, but this was an old rising wedge that I saw, and it just kind of bear trapped the hell out of any chartist really, but in a well, it was a bear trap because what it did was it broke down out of here, but it bounced and ran up. So that's something that you have to be careful with rising wedges as well, because especially in a bullish trending market, you'll see a lot of bear traps. So you'll think that, hey, this thing's about to break all the way down, and what it'll do is it'll drop down a little bit and make you think that, hey, this thing is gonna just crash, but it'll pop back up or it'll consolidate or something like that, but it won't completely crash and burn. That be on the lookout for this 50-day moving average as it is at 422. So it's not far off from that 2.5% pullback area. But like I said, as you can see on this daily chart, the price is starting to move out of this the top side of this rising wedge. So, just be looking to see if this holds once again, or, to see if it folds. But one thing that, you should keep in mind is that is the overall angle. So you don't often get very strong uh, bullish moves out of a rising wedge. Sometimes you'll get, like I just showed you guys on the daily chart, where the price will, it'll pull back a little bit and then continue on. Um, so that's just something to think about as well. So maybe we'll get some consolidation and it'll, kind of slowly trend up. But be open to either a breakout or a breakdown. So just be looking, as earnings is coming up. We just had, bank earnings. I think this week, big tech is coming up. So big tech is really what the markets really care about when it comes to earnings. So be looking out for that. Again, I appreciate you guys watching. If you have any questions, hit me up. Thank you for watching. If you have any tickers you'd like for me to check out, leave them in the comment section and I'll be happy to add them to my list. Thanks for watching this episode of Market Markup.